Welcome to the GameFace Footy Show SFNL Division 4 edition. I am Russell Robertson, your host, and I'm joined on the couch by these two guys. I'm going to introduce Paddy Cook. How are you, Paddy?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, and we know Will Hunter. He's been here all day, every day at GameFace. He's a stalwart of GameFace. How are you, Will?
Yeah, not too bad, mate.
We're talking footy all day, haven't we?
Yeah, it's been fun. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, well, footy has been back in some leagues. It isn't quite back yet for Division 4, but it's coming at us this weekend. Are you excited, boys?
Can't wait.
Yeah, very excited, very excited. I've got a bit more enthusiasm than Paddy. You look a bit tired, mate.
It's been a long pre-season, mate.
Yeah, no doubt. Why don't you tell us about how the pre-season's been going? Obviously, the coach of Lyndhurst Footy Club.
Yep. So for us, you know, after making the grand final last year, we'd gone a month further than we'd previously gone, so it felt like it was just continuous. You know, we had a few weeks off and then we were back into training and it was just rolling again, so it's been long. We're waiting to get back into the games.
It's very impressive though. Only been around, four?
We've played 3 seasons.
Three seasons, yep. And to get into a grand final, didn't quite go all the way, but that's still, you take a lot from that.
Oh yeah, 100%. And we're young. We're really, really young, so you know we're going to learn a lot and hopefully progress some more.
If you want to see how Lyndhurst Lightning go this year, you can get the GameFace app, because this year we're giving you live scores, news. You can catch the live stream matches all year round, can't you? Will you be out there doing that, won't you?
Yeah, absolutely. A different game every single week, and yeah, looking forward to bringing that to the people. Obviously, along with John Donahoe, who'll be calling the games with me. Great man, John. We've got to get him on the show at some stage.
That's right.
Yeah, very exciting. All kicks off this weekend, Robbo.
That's right. And the GameFace SFNL group, get on and post your own content. You can do that with us. We look forward and we want to hear what's going on out there in suburbia, I suppose, and people that get along and watch great games of football, especially in the SFNL. It's Division 4 we're talking about today. Boys, I want to get your predictions about this year. 8 teams. Obviously, anyone can pinch it in any given year. Best players out there, who might be featuring this year to your minds?
Oh, well, of course, we've seen the top 35s for some of the higher divisions. Cop a lot of commentary, I guess, on social media.
What he means is a lot of flack, and probably reasonable flack. Got it wrong a few times, but got it right as well.
Mate, I'll never get anything wrong, so love hearing those opinions from people out at the clubland. So it's been fantastic, and the countdown for Division 4 will obviously kick off this week, and there's a fair few names that we should probably keep an eye out for, Paddy.
Yeah, I reckon Andy Lee from Frankston, he'll be up there pretty high quality players, played at a good level before. Hamish Browning, one of my boys, has had a huge pre-season. Looking forward to seeing where he places. So his
grand final effort was tremendous last year, it must be said. Kicked 6 sausage rolls. That was kicking them from everywhere.
Had 11 shots on goal.
Well, in the grand final, that's impressive. 6 goals. What was the day like? Was it windy? I don't know.
Perfect
day
conditions.
for it.
He had a day out. He had an absolute day out. But yeah.
Well, Will, you headed out and interviewed Rod Ellis from Lindale. How'd that go, mate?
Fantastic. He's just taken on the reins down at Lindale. A bit of a side in transition. They didn't have the best finish to 2018, it's fair to say, but yeah, they're looking to really turn things around this year. He's obviously come across from Moorabbin Footy Club, and yeah, this is what he had to say.
G'day guys, Will from GameFace here, and I'm joined by the newly appointed coach of Lindale, Rod Ellis. Rod, how have you found your first few weeks here as a senior coach?
Yeah, look pretty good. Obviously on a build, you know, and the momentum's pretty strong at the moment, so really looking forward to the season to come.
How's the playing group shaping up ahead of 2019?
Yeah, look pretty good. We've introduced some new stuff, and the guys are really coping with that. They're taking to it really well, so really pleased with the way we're going. So yeah, it's good.
You've got a couple of cracky matches coming up, I guess.
Yeah, look, we've got one more to go, Box Hill North, and then a week off before round 1. Box Hill North will be a good challenge, and you know we're hopeful we'll have a lot more numbers, of course. So 6-quarter game this weekend, so looking forward to it.
Good on you, Will, sending in his petrol invoices to us too. You know, you get 70 cents per K. Did you know that?
I do. My brother's actually, my youngest brother's actually an accountant, and he
right, he's
looks
got-
after me. So thanks, John. Appreciate it. But no, not a far trip to Lindale.
No.
But now they've got some good people down at that club now. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what they got in 2019.
I love that though, mate. I really do. I mean, we see all the big stuff, we see all the AFL stuff, but it's hard to get out there in a clubland around Victoria. You find out there's actually clubs like the Lightning, 4 or 5 years old, or 3 or 4 years old. It's good to learn about all this stuff, and that's what we're trying to do here at GameFace. Bring you all the stuff out there, suburbia football land, and some of that stuff, let's talk about it now. Each week for Division 4, we're going to be bringing you the Coach of the Week. Not necessarily, Paddy, not necessarily the best coach, so don't worry. It's just we want to highlight a coach and talk about them, what they like, what they're all about, how they coach. Team of the Week, Will, you'll be all over that?
Yeah, as we saw with the countdowns across the divisions, and we'll be doing that across the board for all divisions. It's not an easy thing to do,
Yeah.
but obviously there's some guys that just really pick themselves with some tremendous performances, and of course you at the head of the Lightning this year, you'll be out seeing a lot of footy as well as myself. So yeah, not an easy task, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the people say every week.
Paddy, you'll obviously be looking for young kids to come through and contribute to this club. We're going to be doing a Rising Star segment. You got some good kids coming through at Lyndhurst?
Yeah, we got a heap. So I was thinking about it last week. So last year we had something like 36 of our 60-odd listed players were under 24.
Wow.
And I had, I think, 4 17-year-olds play my grand final. So
Wow.
Yeah.
That's blooding some young talent coming through. That's fantastic.
that's what we have to do. So it's exciting.
It sounds like you've got a lot on your list, a lot of people knocking on the door to play.
Depth can be an issue, but the way we go, or the way most of the clubs in the competition go about it, you try and get as much experience into them as you can, and they go from there. So they are progressing and they're getting a lot better. So
Yeah.
How's the relationship with the junior club as well? Obviously really important for the long-term sustainability of any footy club.
yeah, for us, we've got under 17s, which we hadn't had for a couple of years this year. So hopefully that can just keep progressing. So we've got, like, through the younger years, I think there's 2 under 8 sides, 2 under 9s, a couple of under 10s, but then there goes a bit of a gap from under 13s, I think, 2 under 17s.
Yep.
So we'll have 17s for the first time this year in a couple of years, and hopefully they can progress through, but they are bottom age. So
Yeah, fantastic. And maybe an under 19 side to really complete that transition into senior footy. Is that the aim?
We've been trying for the last couple of years to get them up, and every year we get that 10 to 12 players. We just can't quite crack that next bunch of kids to come through. So hopefully this under 17 side coming through, we can hold and get them up into under 19s in 2 years' time when they're ready.
Now, Paddy, what do Lyndhurst do when it comes to a cafeteria, mate? What's the best thing they've got in there? Is it the burgers, the dim sims, is it the hot dog? What's the number one ticket item in there?
Joe does awesome salad rolls.
Salad rolls.
Salad rolls are quality at Lyndhurst.
Oh, I like it. My mum makes the best salad roll, and I reckon I've never tasted a better salad roll, and I reckon she needs to get somewhere and start selling these, because a good salad roll
Make a bit of
is
cash.
worth its weight in gold. Absolutely. But what we're doing, I don't know if you know this, is we're presenting the club that has the best burger. We're looking for the best burger out there at Clubland. Will's tried a few, obviously. He's been out there.
Bit harsh, but fair.
But we're going to be trying to bring that to you, all the people out there. Which club has got the best burger? So maybe if you're sitting at home and getting a little bit peckish, you think, why don't I go watch a game of football and get a good burger? Maybe it might be at the Lightning, you never know. If you want a salad roll, you can go and get that anyway. New teams to the competition, boys. Let's talk through it. South Yarra and Hallam. Go.
Bit of a
hard
strange
one, yeah.
for South Yarra, obviously coming down from Division 3. An unusual set of circumstances. They didn't finish last. Hallam finished last and looking to reset into Division 4 footy. South Yarra have some challenges, I guess, logistically. Their ground at Fritz Holzer Park's not, I guess, up to standard.
Not in great condition, yeah.
No, you're right there. And a few issues with that playing surface means they're sort of without a home at the moment. I'm not sure where they've got to in that space. Pat, have you heard anything?
No, well, we've got them round 1, and it was supposed to be there. We're playing them at our ground. I'm not sure how that works for later in the season, if they're swapping it around or not. But you hope they get something up. You really do, because you don't want to see a club homeless, because they need to find somewhere and quickly for them to sustain some some form of club.
Of course, without a home ground, you haven't got those bar sales, you haven't got those canteen sales, you haven't got those any of those sort of revenue streams, which is not ideal. I know that they were looking at a couple of options, but I guess it's a watch this space and see where they land.
No Sandown, boys. Talk us through that one.
So unfortunately, Sandown couldn't quite muster up enough numbers for 2 sides this year. So they've withdrawn from the Division 4 competition and gone into the thirds, which is a bit sad.
Yeah, it is, and like they've been struggling for a few years, but I sort of felt Ange, their coach for the last couple of years, he'd been working really hard to try and improve the standard, improve everything they had, and obviously, you know, something's fallen apart behind the scenes or something, and they just haven't been able to get the buy-in. But yeah, it's not nice for any club to go through that, so you really hope that they can get themselves back into a strong position and rebuild from dropping back to thirds.
Absolutely, and they've got, obviously you mentioned Ange, he's a pretty switched-on character, and they've got some really nice blokes around that club, so hopefully we can see them back in senior competition in 2020.
I want to talk a little bit about some key recruits. A couple of coaches for this one, Paul Yule and Rod Ellis. Boys, what are you making of this?
Yeah, so Paul Yule's taken up the reins at the Moorabbin Kangas. An ex-player from the club is returning to lead them after David Velt's sacking last year. Not an ideal set of circumstances either, but the Kangaroos have deemed him the right fit to take them forward.
Seems to be bringing a few players with him back from previous clubs or around the area, so he's they seem to be going okay from the outset. You know, until we come up against them, can't say too much, but yeah, they seem like they're doing a lot of things right. So
it's a bit funny actually, because Rod Ellis has taken up the senior coaching role at Lindale. We saw him earlier. Ex-Moorabbin, he's come across from there. I think he was the senior assistant, I think, down there, and it's been a fair bit of movement in players between the.
It seems like they've just switched a few, so it'll be interesting to see how they go when they come up against each other this year.
Exactly right. The Moorabbin captain from last year, Dylan Bone. Bone has gone over to very good young player, good key forward. He's gone across to Lindale to play in the maroon and gold.
Yeah, you look at that with their forward line they're going to have. It's going to be pretty strong with Trevor and
obviously
Dylan and
well. And of course on the other side we've got Josh Kyle heading the other way, going from Lindale to
strong midfielder there, so it'll be good pick up from Moorabbin. Hopefully he fits in well down there and they can progress as well.
Very good player is Josh Kyle, absolute bull around the clearances. So
can't be understated how important a coach is to a team, especially if you are going to leave a club and go to another one. You can pull good players with you and make that club great. It's not a great look sometimes, but yes, you want to get the best out of your players when you're there, but you also need to be able to be a good facilitator, a good teacher, and you know, premierships are hard to win. It's all born around good coaches and good players, and if you've got a great coach, you've got to hang on to that coach. Big improvers and sliders this year for you. It's an easy one to talk about improvers. The sliders, though, is the tough one, because you don't want to talk a team down, of course, especially when you've got to play against them. Linders have got to play against them, but I do want to get a genuine sort of synopsis of what you think is going to happen within this league, boys. Go for it.
With the two new sides, it's hard to tell for where they're going to fit in, because from the year before, from coming with the Division 3, South Yarra and Hallam were a mile above where everyone in current Division 4 was, so whether they've dropped off the pace or we've picked it up, we're not sure. So they could, quite easily step into that top 4, or they could slide right down. It's really hard to tell. And obviously no Sandown. Dandenong hopefully will have improved a little bit, but whether they've improved enough, because they were a fair way behind the pack at some stages last year. I think Frankston will be the big improver though from last year. They made finals in their first year and had a fantastic season. But after an extra year of gelling and an extra off-season together, I really think they'll step up and be a really tough side this year.
They can go close, there's no doubt about that, and I'll put you guys as well as the reigning grand finalists and CPL in that sort of boat that can really challenge for the premiership. You mentioned Dandenong, they're an interesting one. They're another side with a new coach. Phil Muscat's just taken on the reins. Following the recent resignation of Nathan Boyd. Seems like an interesting character. He's played some high-level footy, particularly in the Eastern League. Came on as a playing assistant coach, and now he's just assumed the senior responsibilities.
It's sort of all landed in his lap, hasn't it?
It has. I was out there recently, and they seem to have really, despite the lack of on-field results in the last couple of years, got a really good culture and really good vibe around the playing group. Their president, Damien Ivancic, is doing a pretty good job down there as well. So I'd really, really like to see those guys improve. But as you said, South Yarra, the unknown quantity, they've got a reasonable list, but obviously without a home might make it a little bit difficult for them.
Yeah, with the lack of consistency for them, with having somewhere regularly to call home, you just don't know what they're going to produce. That it may work in their favour, it may not. Who knows?
And there's another one with a new senior coach for this year, Scotty Steghouse, taking on the coaching responsibilities there. Took it from his old man, Daisy. Be interesting to see how he goes juggling playing and coaching responsibilities. He's an absolute jet.
Tough gig.
Yeah, very tough gig. You've done it for a little while as well, playing coach.
Yeah, done now. They haven't played for a couple of years, but it was tough when I was doing it to be able to control. And you see things differently when you're on the field compared to when you're on the sidelines. There's positives to both of them. When you're on the field, you can sense the vibe from the players, but when you're off the field, you notice a lot more little things that you don't notice when you're on the field. So
how important, I guess, would be off-field assistance then in that case if you're running around trying to get a kick?
Oh, huge. Absolutely huge, because you need to be able to focus on your footy, getting the footy, doing all the things you need to do at the same time. And I found a lot of the time when I was playing that my mind would be wandering off onto all the different things that were going on. I'm like, he should be doing that, he should be doing that, he's done that.
Yep.
And then you go, oh shit, I should be involved, in this contest. So you get caught up a little bit.
So sad to say, boys, you think that Dandenong might be right there when it comes to premiership time? The premiership favourites, you've got two new teams I know we've talked about. It's going to be hard. Dandenong under Phil Muscat. Are they a chance to win the premiership this year?
I wouldn't think so. They've got a lot of ground to make up. I hope they can become really, really competitive, because that'll help them build, and hopefully, a little bit of competitiveness on field will help them develop over the next couple of years. But they're going to take some time, I'd say.
So who is your premiership favourite, Will? Who have you got?
You know what? It's actually a really hard one. The top three are pretty hard to split, but I think Frankston Dolphins will probably go close in year two. For mine, CPL probably the team to beat.
Mm-hmm.
And I reckon you guys are probably up there as well. But if I had to pick one, probably Karen Patterson Lakes. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, no, you're right, mate.
We love you.
It's okay. I'd say probably CPL, but I've got a feeling Frankston are going to do something special this year, which I hope they don't, because I really want to have a crack at it again. But
you deserve one. You deserve one.
Hopefully we haven't missed our chance. But Frankston they've got some quality there.
I'm sure you're being humble, mate, and you're still right there.
Far too humble for this show.
Yes, absolutely. We're not humble here. The host is the worst. Let's talk about the games coming up. It's back. Football. Dandenong versus Frankston Dolphins. I'll leave it to you guys. Dissect.
Yeah, can't wait for the footy to start, Paddy. Dandenong, Frankston Dolphins, probably a bit of a mismatch on paper, and not really going to get a good gauge, I think, of where Dandenong are at as a club.
I think last year when they played, this was the round one fixture for them last year as well, and I'm pretty sure in Frankston's first ever game they won by about 140 points. So I don't expect it to be quite that big, but I still think it'll be quite a big margin Frankston's way.
They've probably got too much experience around the ball.
Yep. A few more solid big bodies as well, and some genuine footballers.
The next game, Hallam versus CPL. Go.
New side in Hallam, looking to really bounce back after a disappointing year.
Yeah.
Didn't win a game last year, but they did get bloody close against Heather, and they lost by a point with the last kick of the game. Just fell a little bit wide. They've got some pretty good players. Hallam, I know their numbers have improved this year, which is good to see. They probably don't have the strength to challenge CPL, who, as we've already discussed, probably have the makings of what could be a premiership list.
Yeah, well, Kane does a good job with CPL, and they've recruited pretty well again this year, I think. And I'd expect them to take it fairly convincingly over Hallam.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd love to get Kano on the show at one stage, really pick his brain and see where they're at. But definitely CPL for mine in that one.
Cookie, your boys, Lyndhurst, are hosting South Yarra. So how are we looking, mate? How are we shaping up?
Without having seen South Yarra in a couple of years, I really don't know. We're in a good spot that I'm confident that we'll go into this year very, very competitive. How that goes against a new side, I'm not sure, but I would hope we get up.
Yeah. Will, you can see them rolling in getting the first game over and done with a W next to their name, the Lightning?
I think so. I think he sort of tried to flat bat that one a little bit, but didn't really give us a lot, did he? But no, I think they made the grand final last year, and they didn't do that for no reason. So they're obviously a pretty good outfit, the Lightning.
Pretty well drilled.
Very well drilled, very well coached.
Very well
coached. He's not going to say it, but I will. Now, South Yarra, they'll give a good account of themselves. I think it'll be close. South Yarra are obviously pretty used to playing at Fritz Holzer. They're not going to this year until they fix it up. Not the greatest ground, but very, very small. So they'd be used to playing on that small surface. They used to sort of catch out some teams here and there, take a couple of scalps who weren't really used to playing on a ground that small. Believe me, it's tiny. Lyndhurst, conversely, is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. I'd hate to go down there and run laps.
472 all the way around.
My, really? 472? It's like Waverley Park back in the day.
It's big. It's big.
It's
It'll
huge.
take about 8 minutes for you to run around that, wouldn't it, Will?
I'd get like a moped to go around that.
And
No chance. But I think Lyndhurst on that big ground should have too much leg speed for them.
South Yarra are probably up against it this year. Hopefully they can really roll into things and fix that club up and get them going again. I'm sure they will. By the club, I mean the rooms, the club rooms, the ground itself. Moorabbin versus Lindale is the last game I'd like you to talk about.
I think the league did this one on purpose.
Yeah, I know. It's an interesting one to have a look at. You wouldn't mind seeing the footage of it. So
Yeah, exactly right. No, I think it'll be a clean game. There's no doubt about that. There won't be the fisticuffs that we've probably seen in previous years. But obviously, with a lot of Moorabbin and Lindale players
swapping
in different jumpers, could be interesting. Could be a little bit of spice in it, but hard to see how they go, particularly with two new coaches. Honestly, really hard to pick a winner in this one. It'd be almost a flip of the coin.
Really?
I'd take a punt at Moorabbin, but it's just a dead set punt. So
Yep. And you know what? I'll go the other one. I'll go Lindale, just as a point of difference.
Yep.
But I think this will be a really, really interesting clash. Game of the round for mine this one.
It's pretty important for how the season pans out as well, because these are two sides that you would be expecting would be there and thereabouts for pushing for that top 4 spot. That you're expecting that the top 3 from last year would continue on, and could either of these two push any of those sides out really? So hopefully they both have a really good year and makes it a bit more challenging for everyone. So.
By 5 o'clock Saturday, we'll have a much better indication of where these two sides sit in the whole scheme of things.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Well, we've got some scheduled rain for Saturday again, typical Melbourne football season, so it may have an effect on the results. You never know. That's the great thing about football. You never know what's going to come at you. This Division 4, we don't know what's headed our way. We're looking forward to it, though.
Absolutely.
Can't wait for it to start. Good luck to your Lightning over there, Paddy. We wish you all the best for season 2019. Go one better this year, mate.
That'd be nice.
Get them off to a fly. That's been the GameFace Footy Show for the SFNL Division 4. We want to thank all our wonderful sponsors. Can we please thank Paddy Cook over there? Big round of applause. And Will Hunter, big round of applause there too. You've been fantastic today, Will. Good on you, mate.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Appreciate it. Not as good as yourself.
No, I didn't. Of course
A
not.
few things.
Well done. We'll see you soon.